Hi there everyone. So in previous videos, I walk you through people through how to create these details on the inside. This is an optional step. If you're interested in doing these, please make sure that to check the previous video out. But for today's video, I'm gonna walk you through the last and final step of this assessment, which is adding textures on the facade and adding trees, vegetations, and also as well as the title bar. Okay, so before you jump into this, I want you to head on to Compass. During our class page, I want you to go and download these documents. So trees and vegetation cap blocks, elevation texture line work, and title bar for elevation as well. And I want you to open them. If you drag your laptop, just open them one by one. Okay, once you've done so, I would like you to open the first one, which is elevation texture line work. So inside here, I've already curated a couple of textures for you to work with. What you can do is that you can copy the whole thing and paste it, onto your artboard somewhere, maybe over here. You can definitely scale them down a little bit to fit. Okay, so for these for you to use. So I want you to choose around 2 textures. Don't choose too much. If you have a look at all the houses outside, the facade is not covered with everything. Okay, so don't choose too many. So in our case, let's maybe move this to a separate layer just for organization purpose. Let's say texture. Okay, so we're gonna add texture on top of here. So now we're gonna add on textures to your front faces. As I said, please don't choose too many. Okay, please don't choose too many on the facade. So ideally, you wanna find something that is more simple and pastel. Okay, so just in order for you to see, I'm going to move them somewhere that you can see it a bit better. Actually, did I move these two somewhere? Oh, okay, I didn't really move this. So let's select this and, as I said, move to another layer. Okay, so over here. So now I'm gonna drag this to somewhere that you can see it clearer. Okay, so what I will recommend is that I'll get you to select maybe some of those enclosed shape for you to fill in. In this case, I'll start with maybe this front here with this one. Okay, before you want to add in texture, please make sure you uncheck the lock button from the outline trace. Okay, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna hover to the left hand side and pick up this tool called eyedropper tool with your shape selected. This is in selected, and you go over here and find this eyedropper tool and you pick whichever material that you want to use. Okay, so in this case, maybe let's do concrete. Okay, so I'm just gonna click on concrete here. Okay, yeah, it looks pretty nice. Okay, as a concrete texture on here. So I might also fill here with concrete as well, because this is the same extruded parts of the wall. Okay, that's pretty good. Now I'm going to also fill here with some texture, and this time I'm thinking of maybe choosing plaster wood or recycled compressed wood. Let's see which one does a bit better. Okay, so this looks like that. Or if I choose plaster wood, yeah, this is pretty good. I think I'll stick to plaster. Okay, so plasterboard timber as well, timber one. But you might realize that sometimes your texture is not, I would say, it's not up to scale. So let's say maybe we choose tiles from here. Let's give an example. Let's change tiles. You will notice that the tiles are a little bit very huge. It's actually pretty big. Okay, it's rarely that you find tiles on the exterior facade as this big. Okay, so what I recommend you to do is you will need to scale up and down of your texture. So we're going to, when it's been selected, right click on your mouse and then come over here to choose transform. And on transform, I'm going to select scale. Okay, so over here I'll get you to scale, but you will notice that if your object may be scaled over there, so please don't do so. I would like you to check this preview. So if you uncheck it, you won't see what it looks like. So please check this preview. Okay, and over options here, you deselect transform pattern until you only can see transform pattern being selected. So over options, only transform pattern should be selected. And over here, you can change the size a little bit. So maybe let's put 20% and see what is look like. Look is fine. Maybe let's try 30. Okay, and you can hit okay and see how it goes. So now I think is a better option for tiles. If I zoom in, you will see like the tiles will be making a bit more sense now. The size of the tiles are making a bit more sense, unlike those huge ones, which is just not realistic. Okay. I'm gonna change it back to plaster wood because I like plaster wood. But you'll definitely feel free to use tiles as well. Just make sure that you change your scale of your textures to a realistic one. I'll say maybe let's change this. Maybe let's change this concrete a little bit as well because I feel like the pores are too big. Okay, so this is it's a bit small. Let's maybe do 50. Okay, let's see how this goes. Yeah, I think this is a bit more realistic now. Okay, this seems like a bit more realistic. Don't forget, if you have several parts, also change them as well. Hit okay. Okay, so this is your front facade applying some texture. Okay, you don't have to apply it on every surface. It's just not realistic. Maybe you could put some tiles on top of here, but maybe let's put a color bond deck, the horizontal ones on here. Okay, that looks fine to me. Okay, so now this is done. So adding some textures. What you can do is you can hover over here and lock this texture layer where you have this layer, this texture swatch, and then you disable this layer so you can't see it anymore. So next step, and actually the final two steps, is that we are going to add in the trees, the vegetations, okay, over here. So a lot of you have front gardens in your drawing, okay, in your floor plan, and also in your model making. So what I would recommend is that we're adding some tree texture. So by starting that, I'm going to hover over to texture, and I'm going to add another layer on top of here, okay. I'm going to rename it as trees and vegetation. Okay, now I'm going to come and lock these several other layers so that I don't make sudden changes to things. I'm going to come here and to this document where I have several trees and vegetations. I'm going to come here and find some of those that I like. Maybe let's do these trees. These two trees are pretty cute. So let's just copy them, Control C or Command C if you're on a Mac, and go back to your document. And then you can paste it here. Okay, now I have resized those trees, so it should look fine. Okay, so it should be roughly the correct scale, but you could definitely make some modifications to it. If you find that this line work is pretty light, you can select them and come to property panel on the right hand side. If you can't find it, you go to window and scroll down to find properties. Okay, but now I have this here. I'm just gonna scroll down here to stroke and then maybe increase the stroke a little bit. I think this is a bit too much. Let's make it as 0.75. Still a bit too much. Let's make it 0.5. Okay, I think 0.5 is reasonable. So let's drag it to where you want it to be. So perhaps one could be here. Maybe let's make this slightly bigger. Okay, and maybe let's drag this one over here. Okay, I might also want to add a little bit of vegetation, so maybe let's select a bit of the vegetations here. This one, I'm also selecting this and this perhaps. Okay, maybe this one. Maybe I like this one a bit better. Let's do this one, and this one. So a little bit bushes. Okay, you hit Control C or Command C, and Command C or Control C. Okay, put it back, and then this one you might want to resize a little bit because it looks pretty big. Okay, you can put as many as you want, and what you can do is you can just copy them again and then put it there. Okay, so it looks better. Okay, now now we have done our vegetation. So before we finish, I'm gonna draw a line which is called ground line. Okay, so this is to ensure that we have showing the audience where it's a ground level. Okay, so I'm gonna come here and use my mouse, actually not mouse, let's lock the trees and vegetations, the pen tool, and let's draw straight to indicate where the ground level is. So basically, not at the front of the house, so basically you have this part as an extruded part towards the front. You want to have the ground level that is towards the back of the front facade, so basically this part. Okay, so let's draw it straight by holding a shift key and extend that a little bit longer. Okay, and let's make it a bit thicker. You want this ground line to be thick. Okay, so this is 2 points that I drew, and then you want to also Control C and Command C and add a little bit towards the left hand side as well. Maybe we shorten that down a little bit, and let's adjust this part of the size. Okay, all right. So it's time to now to adjust where the tree has been positioned. So make sure that your trees is on the ground level. Okay, maybe let's move it towards here a little bit. Move this tree down. Okay. All right. So if I zoom out, you will see that my elevation is pretty complete. Okay. The idea for this ground line is to show people that our elevation does have a perspective. Okay. Does have a perspective to it, because that's why you can see the things on the inside, and you can see also a little bit extruded part of this house. Okay, so it's called a perspective elevation. Okay, it's called perspective elevation. Now, before we head on to the final step, which is to create the title bar, I'll get you to maybe unlock all of them and maybe think about adjusting a little bit of the geometry if things make sense. So I just realized here, I think if you want like a perspective, this triangle needs to attach on the other side. So I'm gonna come and maybe I'll adjust a little bit of this geometry because it doesn't look right to me. Okay, and I will change these things accordingly as well. Okay. This part needs a little bit tweak. Okay. Ooh. Now I see I want to add a line here to connect these two. Okay, let's put it back. Okay, over here, I think I will need to change as well. Sometimes it's great to have these things correct in the first place, because you will see that later on when you're changing around, it's a bit of a hassle. Okay. Okay, Now I'm gonna fix here. Sometimes zooming in is a very good option. Okay, I think this part needs a little bit fixing as well. Okay, now here as well. Oh, it looks like there's a little bit of inaccuracies happening. Okay, I think I know what's happening. Okay, and let's change this stroke to round edge. Okay, so it's not extruding on the outside. Okay, I think here, I think this one will go up like this. Okay. All right, so now it is done. Okay, so now my house is done. Just a bit final check around the details, and if you're happy with it, you can now proceed to open the scale bar tool. The title bar tool, the title bar document from Compass. Okay, and then you can copy and paste them here. So I'll get you to go and find where your title bar document is. So I can just find it from file recent because I've just recently opened it. But if you have not opened that before, you can go to open, file open, and find where you have located your file. Okay, so basically when you open it up, you will see a whole bunch of your files and you can find where you have put it. Okay, but just for me, I have recently opened it, so I can just open it directly from here. Okay, so once you open it up, you will be greeting with this title bar. So I would recommend what you do is don't change anything that's been locked. Okay, the things that is unlocked is basically these things. So I get you to change the house to a name that your client. So for example, if you dealt with Cohen before, you can type Cohen's house. Just remember you need to all type in capital letters, or it's Cohen's house. But I'll just remain as a sample house, okay, because mine's a sample. Okay, so please change the house name. Change it to your name, okay. So I will change it to my name, basically. Okay, so also type in capital letters. So let's type Miss Wang, okay. And the date of today, okay, so today what I'm recording is the 10th of May 2024, okay, and that's it, okay. So as you can tell right now, everything is in capital letters, which is great. And what you can do before you copy is you please unlock this layer, don't change the blue layer before you copy, otherwise you will only copy the things that is red. So select all of these and Command C or Control C and go back to your document, okay, and you want to create a new layer, maybe called title bar. Oh, I forgot to. Okay, so this is why it becomes really handy. I'll get you to unlock the rest of the layer with only title bar active. Okay, that's why you need to rename the layer, otherwise you'll be very confused. Only if we are only doing a very small project, you already have like 7 layers. Okay, so I'll get you to hover around towards the bottom right and Command or Control V. So you drag in your title bar. So I will now get you to please make sure that you have at least 2 of these grids on the right hand side and at least I would say 2 of these grids at the bottom, so you need a little bit of rebate, okay? And then if you need to, you can unlock all the layer, and then you can select all of these things, and then you can move them a bit towards top left a little bit, center or top left, okay, so that it positions nicely on this page. All right. Now, once you're happy with this, please don't forget to go to File and Save, okay? Or the short key is Command S or Control S on your keyboard, okay? Please make sure you save it and then close this up and upload it to Compass for submission, okay? So once you're done this step, you are good to go. Please submit on Compass, okay? And I hope you really enjoy this whole course. This concludes all of our assessments, okay? I hope you all really enjoy this course and learn something from it, okay? And hopefully I'll see you in your further studies. Bye-bye.